Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation today. My name is Kristen Cangelosi. I am the Public Relations, Communications, and Marketing Coordinator for the Acme Acres County Libraries. And I would like to start off by thanking the Acme Acres Rotary Club for having us here today. We're all very excited to share our experiences of environmental scanning with you. So I'm going to start things off by discussing what environmental scanning is as a process and also share with you the theoretical framework that environmental scanning derives from. Before we discuss environmental scanning as a process, it's important to note that environmental scanning is a component of an organization's development of a strategic plan. Environmental scanning is crucial to the construction of any successful plan. The concept comes from a theoretical framework known as systems theory. This framework emerged in the interwar period of the 20th century, but was not applied to organizational psychology and cultural studies until later on in the 20th century. The basic premise of systems theory is that no organization exists by itself. So that is that every organization is a suprasystem. It's a system that's complex and made up of many interdependent internal parts that are also externally dependent upon other suprasystems that exist. Thus, according to this theory, an organization will not survive if it shuts itself off from other systems which it may unknowingly depend upon. So it's important for an organization to pay attention to the information coming from the surrounding environment in order for its own survival. So how can an organization survive in this complex environment? Well, the organization can survive by developing strategic plans in which analysis of the complex internal environment and the interdependent external environments produce the required intelligence. This brings us to the process known as environmental scanning. Environmental scanning is a management process that creates products that assist in tactical and strategic decision making of an organization. But what exactly are these products and how are they obtained? Information, both factual information as well as information that is subjective to the organization conducting the environmental scan, is gathered about both the internal environments and the complex external environments that the organization exists within. Once this information is collected, it is then analyzed. The analysis that emerges from the collected information is the product that is then disseminated to the appropriate people within the organization for the development of a solid strategic plan.
Hi, my name is Jerry Jones, and I'm your branch manager for the Merry Melodies Regional Library. I'm here today to tell you why an environmental scan is important to use in understanding your community and its needs. To sum it up, an environmental scan identifies the strengths and weaknesses of an organization. It also identifies opportunities and threats in the environment for that organization, or in this case, for a library. I use the words of Chris Pringle to describe the environmental scan. To be effective in achieving its aims, any organization needs to understand the environment in which it operates. For a commercial company, this means knowing its competitors and customers. For libraries, it means mainly, but by no means only, understanding their users and potential users. A thorough environmental scan will guide a library in developing and marketing its services appropriately and can be crucial to a library's health and effectiveness. The references gathered here give theory and practical advice regarding how to discover the demographics of a library's community, how to survey actual and potential users to reveal the needs and preferences, and how to conduct analysis of all relevant factors, external and internal, to inform library strategic planning. Now, what this means for a library. An environmental scan will give information for things such as the number of computers needed for a particular library branch, or what hours of operation are needed to best serve the community. It also gives us ideas on new library materials to bring in. And on top of that, it can give information on ideas for programming for teens, children, and adults. Another factor that can influence is the number of employees at a library at any given time, and the total number of copies of certain materials to put on the shelves for the library patrons. Like I said, the environmental scan is very important for understanding the community and its needs. Once an environmental scan is done, we'll better be able to meet the needs of the library patrons and figure out the best way to serve the community. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Valerie Williamson and I'm the director of Acme Acres County Library. Today we will be looking at which model of environmental scanning fits best for our library setting. There are many types of environmental scanning. Some of the examples are cause and effects, comparative analysis, social historical analysis, or pest analysis. I think the best model of an environmental scanning for the library is called a SWOT analysis. What is a SWOT analysis? What does SWOT stand for? A SWOT analysis is a way to look at the internal and external aspect that is affecting the organization. Within the organization, a SWOT analysis identifies the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The factors. There are 4 factors that this analysis looks into. The positive and negative factors, then there are the external and internal of the libraries. The strengths are the positive factors and the weaknesses are the negative factors of the internal of the libraries. While the opportunities are the positive factors and the threats are the negative factors of the external of the libraries. The American Library Association provided some of the questions that you should ask when you are using the SWOT analysis. Under strengths, what are your library's strongest contribution to your community? What does your library do that no one else does? What do your users like best about your library? Under weaknesses, in what areas does your library have fewer resources than you need? What else needs improvement? What do your users wish you did better? Under opportunities, what could you do if only your library had the resources to do it? What is happening in the world now that you would like to take advantage of? How can your strengths open doors to opportunities for your library? And under threats, what is happening in the world that could impact your library negatively? What library services are provided elsewhere with greater ease for users? And what weaknesses leave you vulnerable to cuts in or competition for your services? Like all environmental scanning, there are advantages and challenges to the SWOT analysis. The advantages are, it is little or no cost for a SWOT analysis. Anyone with the understanding of the library can perform this analysis. This analysis does not require a lot of time to address a complicated situation. This analysis focuses on the aspect that affects the library. The challenges are, the SWOT only looks at the surface of the planning process. It does not look into the depth of the library. Therefore, to look at the depth of any issues, another analysis would be needed. It is hard to identify any uncertainties using this analysis because this analysis is good to look for certainties of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For example, if the outcome could be both strength and weakness, this analysis should not be used. Even with the challenges, the SWOT analysis is still the best kind of environmental scanning for the libraries. Thank you, and here's my friend for more explanation on the SWOT analysis.
Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Portillo, and I'm the branch manager of the Tiny Toons Municipal Library. I'm going to be sharing with you our findings on the library's current status, challenges, and successes received from our recent environmental scan.
This example of an environmental scan of our own Acme Acres Library will be using SWOT analysis as previously discussed. The library's strengths included high daily circulation, high program attendance, high circulation at bookmobile stops, high number of patrons utilizing the public computers, the library circulating a high percentage of their own items, and the library saving patrons money. The library's weaknesses included inconsistent programming numbers across the library branches, low numbers of reference questions on average daily in smaller branches, limited parking, patron usage, library budget, and patrons moving. Library opportunities included location, expansion, bookmobile and senior outreach, and increased usage. Library threats included budget constraints, building sharing, slow internet connection, declining population, community features, and control over a branch by the building it is located in. But we'll talk more about opportunities and threats more next. Now, let's look in depth at some of the strengths and weaknesses. Combined daily circulation of all branches is 3,720 items. Of that, 884 items are ILL items, meaning that 24% of all items circulated are coming from other libraries. We are doing well to serve our population in-house with 76%. $20 is about the average cost of a collection item purchased by the county in the past 2 years. Every item that circulates saves our patrons money. This is the same scenario as with free programs and meeting space that our library offers. The county's total population is 58,914 persons. On average, 2,020 patrons use the libraries combined daily. That's about 4% of the entire population. The 2014-2015 budget requested was $2,532,779.09. The actual budget spent was $2,666,691.93, meaning the budget went over by over $133,000. The projected 2015-2016 budget is expected to be $2,445,318.43, which is significantly less than this year's budget. Next, we will discuss how we can use this information for the library's future.
Hi everyone, I am Joanna Battaglia, the head children's librarian at the Acme Acres County Library. Thank you, Elizabeth, and the rest of my team for going over why we chose the SWOT and the results of the SWOT analysis. I will focus on what the results of the SWOT analysis can tell us about the future of our library. So let's look at some ways that the environmental scan can help our library in the future. First, let's talk about some of the good things the environmental scan has shown us. The mall and school location, bookmobile, and plans to expand are all great opportunities for the library in the future. In favor of brevity, I will focus on the chances for growth that the bookmobile offers. The creation and management of a bookmobile allows for many wonderful services in the library's future. Not only will we be able to reach patrons without transportation, offering an individual book delivery service would be beneficial to patrons with a passion for reading who may be bedridden or tied to their homes for other reasons. The bookmobile could also offer mobile technology training to schools, organizations, and individuals as well. Delivering training on site to different groups can provide help with many needed computer skills. Going to interested parties will assure that our services are appreciated and given to those who need it the most. Reaching the neediest patrons in locations that are near to them with a variety of services will help the library battle competition from other more convenient information options. We can maximize exposure and usage by going to the people who need and request our services in this bookmobile. The SWOT analysis also brought some threats to the library to our attention, which include budget constraints, sharing facilities with other groups, population decline, and community competition. The most damaging threat identified was the budget constraints that continue to lower our funds. This threat could derail any future planning of services, acquisitions, building renovations, or increased staffing. Without adequate funding, the library must devote all of its current budget to maintaining current standards of service. Proper budget allocation allows the library to plan for future growth. The limited budget does not give library staff or management the freedom of creativity in planning for future service needs. This is probably the most major threat to the library. Limiting the budget may cause the library's services and materials to become stagnant. Without the ability to plan and create exciting and new services for our patrons, they may become bored with the old services and stop coming in. This is an especially big concern with the prices of books, technology, equipment, and more on the rise. The library must take this loss of funding very seriously. The results of the SWOT give us a great way to view the current state of the library, but they can also show us trends and concerns for the future. Identifying increases or decreases in services, funding, usage, and other trends will make sure the library is prepared for the new events. Maintaining and updating our knowledge of how the library is functioning will improve services and outreach in the future.
Hi, I'm Gabriele Colantoni. I'm a cataloger at Complex County Public Library, and I'm going to talk about how the community can be engaged in the library's future. The library is a great resource for our community. There are endless possibilities for the ways in which the community can get involved in the library's future. This can be done by means of collaborations with institutions that range from private businesses to schools and other types of associations. Schools. We are already focusing on preschool children programs, as well as on programs for homeschooled children and summer reading programs. We also have a joint use facility with an elementary school at one of the municipal branches. However, schools can become more involved with the library by working with us to create a series of special programs for kids. Such an initiative would have the twofold result of making the library a lively place while providing excellent materials for teachers to use. There is an array of projects that school teachers can set up in collaboration with us. The ALA provides many examples of such projects. For example, schools can collaborate with a public library in creating an online resource that would link teachers to librarians. Such a resource would contain useful materials such as an archive of curriculum activities, lesson plans, and it would be constantly updated and used by both teachers and librarians. The environmental scanning demonstrates that our county has a diverse ethnic population. The library can become a focal point for all the initiatives and projects that involve minorities and new immigrants. Libraries can be the perfect place to hold English as a second language classes and provide a location for different events where minorities can share their diverse backgrounds and contribute to creating a dynamic and intercultural community. Private businesses can use the library as a showcase for their initiatives that are of general interest to the community. In exchange, the library will receive greater visibility and can take advantage of the resources offered by private business. It is very useful for local institutions such as the Chamber of Commerce and the Small Business Development Center to have a good relationship with the library. Such a relationship can improve their business services and help the economic development of our community. Non-profit associations can also take advantage of the spaces and services offered by the library and bring additional visibility. Finally, it would be desirable if there was an even stronger participation of the community in the activity of the Friends of the Library Association, especially in the area of fundraising, book sales, and other similar initiatives. As we work to improve our public and school outreach, and the community sees the value of the library, members of the community will be ever more inclined to join the Friends of the Library Association. Thank you for listening.